Okay, this is going to be the last video in the 9.5 graphing linear inequalities in two variables. And this corresponds to some of the later questions in that assignment on XYZ. Anyway, we're going to find the equation of this line that's shown here. And then on the next two pages, there's going to be some graphs that are shaded on a half plane, and we're going to determine the inequality. So it'll be the same boundary line on the next two graphs. So the first thing we're going to do when you're trying to find the equation or the inequality, let me just go ahead here and show you what I'm talking about. If we want to find that inequality, then first thing you want to do is find the boundary line. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to find this boundary line. We need to determine the slope, and we need to determine the y-intercept, and then we can write it out in the form y equals mx plus b, slope-intercept form. Or you could use point-slope form. But I'm going to use slope-intercept form. So our y-intercept is right here up at 3, so b is 3. And then our slope is rise over run. We're going to go up 2 over 1, 2, 3. So our slope m is 2/3. So throw that into this equation. You get the equation for this line is y equals 2/3 x plus 3. So we have our boundary line. Now we're going to go ahead and figure out what the inequality is that's shown in this graph right here. So we know our line is y, and then I'm going to have an inequality symbol, and I don't know yet which way to this inequality symbol is going to go, but I do know it's going to be either greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. So there's a couple different ways that you can determine this. If this is our line that we're talking about right here, the shaded part is above the line, so the values of y are greater than that line. So y values decrease this way, they increase this way, so it's going to end up being greater than or equal to, y is greater than or equal to this line, 2/3 x plus 3. If that isn't working for you, what you want to do is take a guess. So if we take a guess that we're going to have y is, let's say, greater than or equal to 2/3 x plus 3. Let's test 0, 0 and see if it makes it false, because 0, 0 is not included. And so if we did it correctly, it should make this inequality false. So if I put in 0, 0, I have is 0, I'm testing this, is 0 greater than or equal to 2/3 times 0, which is just 0, plus 3. So we're looking at, is 0 greater than or equal to 3? Well, that is false, which is what we were expecting if this was correct. And so that must be correct. But let's say you took a guess and you didn't know that it was greater than or equal to, and you're saying, well, I think it might be less than or equal to 2/3 x plus 3. So then if you test, you can test any point. If it's in the shaded region, it should make the inequality true. If it's not, then it should make it false. Again, I'm going to test 0, 0 here and see if this is true or false. Is 0 less than or equal to 2/3? Okay, so if I put 0 in here, I get 0 is less than or equal to 0 plus 3. This is false. I'm sorry, it's true. 0 is less than or equal to 3. But 0, 0 is not part of the shaded region, so it shouldn't make the inequality true. So we know that this one has to be incorrect. So then you would go back to trying it this way, put that 0, 0 in again, and since 0, 0 makes it false, you're not going to shade, it wouldn't be shaded on that side, and therefore, since it's not shaded on that side, you have the correct inequality. Okay, let's do another one here. We're looking for, we know that the line is y equals, well, the line is y equals 2/3 x plus 3. We need to change this equal sign to an inequality. And notice that the line is dotted, so it's either going to be greater than or less than. And so when I look at this, I'm looking at where the line is, which is this dotted line here, and the shaded region is below the line, so those are y values that are less than the line. But let's test it. So if you think that it's going to be less than, y is less than 2/3 x plus 3, this time 0, 0 is part of the shaded region. So if I put it in here and it makes it true, then I know I did it correctly. And if it makes it false, then we're going to change it. And we should double check to make sure that it, you know, that it would work or not work in the other direction. Okay, so if I put in 0, 0, if I did it correctly, then it's going to make this true. And I get 0 is less than 3, which is true. Therefore, since that is part of the shaded region and it made it true, then I know this is the correct inequality. So had you gone the other, like your initial guess, let's say it was y is greater than 2/3 x plus 3, we don't know for sure, and you put in 0, 0, if it makes it true, it's correct. If it makes it false, you know that you have to switch it to the other direction. So putting in 0, 0, is this true or false? 2/3 times 0 is just 0. Is 0 greater than 3? No, that is not true. That is false. So 0, 0 shouldn't be included if it's this inequality, but 0, 0 is included, so we know that that one doesn't work, and then you switch it to the other direction, and that does make it true, so we know that that is the correct answer right here. All right. So that is it for 9.5. We can go over that again on Monday night, because that's probably one of the harder problems from that section.